Hey guys, so today I wanted to go over some missing people from Idaho since we've been talking about Idaho a lot lately. And the first one is from 1986. And I'll put the town name on the screen because it's hard to pronounce. So it's Deborah Jean Swanson. She was 31 when she went missing. She was a special education teacher. She was last seen walking near the entrance of Tubbs Hill Trail around 4:30 p.m. on March 29th, 1986. So apparently she went there often to go jogging. Her vehicle was found locked and abandoned near the parking that you would go to when you were going to Tubbs Trail. The keys were missing, but her purse was inside the car. She missed appointments over the following 2 days, March 30th and March 31st, and that's why she was reported missing on April 1st. They've done extensive searches of the area, but they haven't found her. So investigators believe she was taken against her will. Because in the past, other women have been attacked on that trail. She's described as a social athletic person who enjoyed her job. So this case, it does seem like she wouldn't have went missing on her own because she was a special education teacher. She was doing something she routinely did. But I'm almost wondering if she got injured on the trail, or if maybe she was attacked on the trail and she wandered off and died. So I feel she's probably somewhere in the area of Tubbs Hill Trail. But I just wanted to bring awareness because sometimes we forget about these old cases and they're still important that we still look for them. So this next person that's missing is missing from the same area in Idaho. Her name is Raelee Meshell, and she's been missing since November 1st, 2020. She's 34. So she was there November 1st, and she was detained in a county jail in Washington, but they don't know whether it happened before or after she was last seen on November 1st, which I don't know why they can't just look in their records. But she had spent years as a homeless person in the Spokane, Washington area, but she always kept in touch with her mother even though she was homeless. And the last time her mom heard from her was when she called from jail. She said she didn't want to be homeless anymore and she wanted help. So I guess she got out of jail and then disappeared. So really, she was last seen in Idaho, but she might be in Washington and the Spokane, Washington area. And that was 2 years ago. She's got a drug and alcohol problem, but she wanted help. But don't you think if she got help, she would have called her mother? So she is still missing. Raelee Meshell. I love her name, Raelee Feather. That is a very cool name. So then we have Thomas Randall HEDGECOCK. And he's been missing since 2004 in Filer, Idaho. He was 51 when he went missing. He was last seen on May 24th, 2004. He left his house at 10:30 at night to go to a barbecue which is like, that's a late barbecue, first of all. And then a week later, they found his truck wrecked 65 feet down an embankment, 25 feet from the edge of the Snake River between Filer and Wendell, Idaho. The car had been badly damaged, but investigators found no evidence to indicate the driver had been seriously injured. There was no sign of HEDGECOCK at the scene and no blood or footprints around the vehicle. They believe HEDGECOCK was a victim of homicide, but his body was not located. His mother said they were really close, and she don't believe he would have left and never contacted her again. So, I don't know. I'm almost thinking, like, I always like to give my idea of what I think. I think he was in that pickup truck when it went down 65 feet. Like, how do they get a pickup truck to just go by itself? And he might have had went to that barbecue and got drunk and then went off this embankment, because from some of the stories I've heard, when people are drunk, they sometimes don't even get injured in these accidents, and I don't know why, but maybe he hit his head. There wasn't a lot of blood, and he wandered away from this accident scene and died. I just feel like he is probably near the accident scene. Because I don't know why somebody would kill him and then just put his, like send his truck over the edge of an embankment, I guess to make it look like he was with his truck and really he wasn't. So, I'm not sure, but he is still missing, and that was 2004, so that's coming on 20 years ago. Next is the case of Stephanie Lynn Crane. She was 9 when she went missing in 1993. Her mother had given her money for a snack and dropped her off at the Chalice Bowling Alley in Chalice, Idaho on October 11th, 1993. She went bowling with her friends and then left at 4:45. She was last seen walking on Highway 93 towards Chalice High School at 6 p.m. The school was across the street from the bowling alley. Accounts differ on whether Stephanie was going to the high school for soccer practice or whether she was going to her family's residence who lived 500 yards away. But by 8:15, she hadn't come home, so her parents called 911. They did an extensive search, and they couldn't find her. The police have 5 to 10 people of interest, none of whom are family members. They believe she was taken by a stranger. So this is a really sad story because it sounds to me kind of like her parents were, which in the 80s and 90s, a lot of parents were like this, where they're just like give you money and drop you off somewhere. But like, how can you not know where your kid's going afterwards? So her parents didn't know whether she was going to go to soccer practice or whether she was going to come home. So that's pretty sad. And so all that time, like 4 hours went by before they called the police. And she's only 9. So, and it's also pretty sad that there's 5 to 10 people of interest. Like, there's that many crazy people that could have kidnapped her. So they believe she was kidnapped, and possibly by a man named Keith HEDGECOCK, because he had kidnapped some other children nearby. But I just wanted to draw awareness to these cases, and I'll see you in the next one.
You told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until